For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games meeting. But I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. That was a bit of a slip there. But if you would like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Head over to our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record the show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation podcast. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/PopCulturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, look, for those that don't watch us live on Twitch, that's cool. But also, you did just miss about 15 minutes of really good C+ grade Monarchy material. Like, it was a lot of the Queen. There was an LEG reference. There was Prince Charles. We didn't make fun of his ears though. We did keep it pretty. I'm sorry, King Charles. My apologies. I forgot I forgot he got promoted this weekend. My bad. And then we were discussing about apparently with all the because the Queen, the ex-Queen, the dead Queen. That seems insensitive, but it's not inaccurate. The dead Queen is all in our currency, so I'm gonna have to replace it, and I was like, that's so there's this petition about getting Steve Irwin on our dollary dues. I think we should take advantage of this right now. If we're gonna rebrand all our money, call it dollary dues. Now's the time to make it happen.
Fuck, I'm getting deja vu. It's like we should have hit record 15 minutes ago.
It totally is, because I kind of just picked up where we left off because I'm an idiot. But how are you, man?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah?
I'm fucking tired.
Yeah?
I am today. Yeah.
Why are you so tired?
I knew I had an early morning today, so I fell asleep putting the kid to bed last night, and then I'm like, I'm tired. I'm just going to go straight to bed. I'm super tired. I'm going to get up early. Cool. Get into bed, get all snuggled in, and I'm wide awake. I'm like, well, I'm not getting up. Like, I'm in bed. I'm committed to this. Next thing I know, I've watched the entire season 5 of Cobra Kai, and it was 4 a.m.
What? That's a solid effort. I just completed a full season of TV.
So, I mean, it was only 10 episodes. It was a Netflix season, so 10 episodes.
Not bad.
I started at 10, it finished at 4.
Well, that's... Yeah, Park says the Cobra Kai Endgame.
Man, I'm so in on this show.
I've never watched it.
It's so good.
So I didn't really give a shit about Karate Kid back in the day.
I also never gave a shit about Karate Kid back in the day either. But Cobra Kai, ooh, it's got. And to be fair, I also watched it on a fucking phone.
Oh my god!
So,
So as MGB in the chat says, that's a lot of telly. That is a lot of telly and a lot of telly on a phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
It was worth.
Oh, I'm glad.
But super fucking tired today.
Yeah.
And I've been up since 9 o'clock. It's now 8:15, and I've got to go to work in 3 hours.
And then so you'll be up until at least 7:30 by the time you get home.
I finish work at 7:30, so about 8 o'clock by the time we get home.
Oh, that's right. Because
so it'll be almost 24 hours straight.
Yeah, because I remember when I lived with you, we used to like high five on the way because I'd leave just before 8 o'clock. So checks out.
Yep.
Damn. Bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. Luckily, Mum's still down, so she's gonna take the kid tomorrow morning, so I can snag a sleep in.
Beautiful. And it's like she's about to go home, so it's like
the last day. Yeah, it's the last day.
So of course she's like, "Oh, can I spend all the time with the kid?" Like, fucking go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the kid, I'm going to bed.
What about you? How was your week?
My week has been pretty quiet. My week itself was not a whole lot went down. As we talked about last week, of having Sunday, spending a great time at the pool with my son. So I took him back, and then I was really kind of running off the buzz of my son, like spending the day with him, having this real sort of direct connection with just he and I. And that kind of, as you know, as I've talked about on here before, like my brain isn't always the nicest, and having that having that good energy run me into the week was really, really good. It went away pretty quickly because this is what things the world and my brain do, but it was nice for a couple of days just to sort of live off that happy energy was really, really good. Back end of the week though, not a whole lot. Like this is the first weekend in like what feels like the longest time that I didn't have my son, that I didn't have a wrestling commitment. I didn't have any commitments really. And it was actually really quite weird. So like I just sort of was at home. And then I did go out yesterday on Saturday, time of recording, and and met up with a fellow man shaker who was down from Sydney. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." So I'm coming to Geelong. I'm like, "Okay." So we went to Pistol Pete's yesterday, and then went to Little Creatures Brewery, had a feed, had some beers, had a good chat. It's awesome. And I came home. I
can't believe you went out for chicken and waffles without me.
I didn't get chicken and waffles, but I got the Southern Fried Chicken BLT.
Because someone finally tried something else on the menu.
Yeah, no, only because I know the chicken and waffles is a you and me thing, Max. I didn't want to.
So how was the burger?
Oh, it was pretty good. Like, it was bad enough that I know that I was cheating on you, but I didn't want to like go all the way. I just wanted to get some smooches in, so I just got
just the tip.
Yeah. I did just the tip, knowing that Max would be so mad at me if I cheated on him and got chicken and waffles.
That's all right. I went out Friday night, did a date night, went to Pizza Bar.
Ooh.
Which was awesome. And then we were going to go bowling, but the bowling alley was packed and booked out. So we ended up going to it's not called Time Zone anymore in Geelong. It's big, shitty arcade.
That's an interesting name to call the company. What do you call it? Big, shitty arcade?
It's called like Time Quest or some shit.
Yeah, I think it's, something like that.
It was cool. We spent an hour, played a lot of racing car games, and my wife cheated at Mario Kart and beat me.
Oh, bitch. But then today, so I got woken up at 8:00 by message, and then a little bit after that, my son gave me a call. He was like, "Dad, can I come see you today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything." He's like, "Cool." So then, all right. So then I spent the day with him. That was awesome.
And he got there and he's like, "Fucking pool."
Yeah. Oh, he did. He was like, so we had to do some running around, and then it was like 2 PM, and I would take him back about 4. He's like, "Let's go to the pool." I'm like, it's 2 AM, dude. So, like, we're going to go on Friday. When I pick him up for Friday, we're going to go straight after school. Shane goes, "Ooh, I might have to try these chicken and waffles before PAX." Damn right you do, Shane. If you are down here in Geelong, Shane, down in Melbourne, head on over, and we'll get some chicken and waffles. Because, as we talked about last week, we'll be at PAX. Still no idea what the entire plan is for PAX at the moment, in terms of who there, whatever. But I'm thinking, if anything, like previous years, Thursday night might be press event night. So... previous years, there's always been something cool on a Thursday night. Like a couple of years ago, it was a big party with Bethesda. Year before that, there was some cool PlayStation event. I don't know. I'll see what I can rope myself into. I'll see if I can coattail my way into something with Padge for funsies. But MGB goes, "I love a good arcade, especially those cinema arcades." Oh yeah, cinema arcade. What a fucking time! What an old tradition that is just lost. Going to the movies a little bit early, playing the arcade, then see a movie. There was a charm to playing games before or after a movie. Yeah, Shane, I'm flying down early now on Wednesday the night for a Games for Change thing. Let's tee it up. Done. Come across to Geelong Wednesday night, and then we'll all hike back on Thursday and crash some media event. Sounds good.
Yeah, well, I've got Thursday, Friday, Monday off.
Yeah. So I haven't got Thursday off, but I'll just take a half day because I'm sure there'll be something cool to do. And I hope that, because all I'm hoping, fingers crossed, is there is some sort of PlayStation event, because if the PSVR 2's there,
we can get our eyes on first before all the things that happen.
Like, we will be the ones that give COVID to everybody at PAX, because it's gonna happen. Like after I heard about DreamHack last week, like before, which is a big esports event here in Melbourne. Tons of COVID, like so much COVID.
Oh, great!
Yeah, I'm gonna purchase some N9.
Yeah, I'm literally going to be masked up the entire time.
Yeah, unless I'm on camera, I'm probably going to have a mask on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to PAX. So fucking hard. Let us know if you're making your way to PAX. PAX Oz in a month's time. We will be there. We'll be running around. We'll be doing all our usual nonsense, and we would love to see and chat to people if anyone out and about. But Max, until then, we've got like a couple of months, a month or so. There's some times, and I assume in that time we'll probably play some games. But that's future stuff. You mentioned last week with your mum being down, you being busy, you probably weren't going to play many games this week. Did ya?
No. The short answer is no. I played like 2 minutes of Midnight Fight Express, and that was about it.
What's Midnight Fight Express?
So it's that solo developed Sifu style fighting game from I can't think of the guy. I can't think of the team's name. The team of one. But it recently came to Games Pass, so I gave it a little try, and it was having some issues. Did a quick Google, and it's like, hey, yeah, it's broken for Games Pass people. All you got to do is change your profile picture, and then it mysteriously works. So that's what I did. Yeah, it's a humble games game.
So yeah, MGB in terms of the chat and says, yeah, it's published by Humble Bundle. Yeah, some good stuff comes out of there. Not too bad. But is that it? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I did like a strike in Destiny, but I haven't played anything real substantial this week.
I have.
What about you?
I look, for those who don't know. You messaged
me, you're like, I'm smashing through this backlog, and I'm just like, can you fucking stop, please?
So for those that don't know, might be new viewers, Max and I, at the beginning of the year, we had our video games draft, which is a fun bit of fun, which I'm getting absolutely pelted in, by the way. But we also did a backlog challenge with the idea that there were 3 games that we would pick that we'd had to complete at the end of the year. Otherwise, we'd owe each other something. As of right now, Max has achieved none of those 3. I have taken out 1, and I've been working on my second. So this week, I've spent some good time with In Sound Mind. So In Sound Mind is a game that we received a review copy for yonks ago from the Turn Left distribution at the time. And it's this really cool sort of psycho thriller game where you're this psychologist who is experiencing these delusional manifestations of his client's mental well-being, I guess, mental challenges. So this first level is all about like body dysmorphia. The second one is all about paranoia, in that there's this giant lighthouse that is forever seeing everything, and there's also like this black ooze hole in the ground that absorbs all light and chases you and tries to sink you in it. So it's sort of a not so subtle allegory for depression. And so there's essentially like 5 main levels, I guess, or 5 tapes, because everything is done through audio cassettes. But the idea is, you're as a psychologist, you've recorded their sessions, and it's you're processing them. So the one I'm playing in now, which is tape 3, is it's all about like anger and frustration tolerance, frustration regulation, stuff like that. So the big boss in this is this manifestation, this giant bull skull with a motor in it that just pumps out fire and a bunch of crazy nonsense. But it's pretty good. It's a good little puzzle game. It's a really interesting sort of as I said, psychological driven game. I'm enjoying it, and like knowing that I'm completing my backlog is a big part of it. That's a big plus for me, and knowing that you haven't touched any of yours, I'm like, this is delicious.
I've touched them all.
Hot.
I just haven't committed to them yet.
Wow, that's a clip that. That's a sentence. But yeah, other than that, so on sale this week was another Hello Neighbor game, because as I talked about here before, my son loves Hello Neighbor. So I picked up Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which was the game. So it's kind of a weird thing, but that's my kid. The other game I played is a game called Serial Cleaner. It's this little indie game that is like $4. So the whole concept of the game is that you're this dude, and then you get a phone. Very Hotline Miami, and its kind of delivery is you go to these little interstitial parts. It's like, hey, we need you to come clean up this space. So you go to the level, and it's essentially a small challenge. As in, there's like, all right, there's 3 bodies, two key bits of evidence and blood everywhere. So what you need to do is you need to then clean that level without getting caught by the police. So you got to take the bodies, put them in the car, pick up the evidence, clean the blood, whatever. And it's fun. It's cool little just some strategies you got to kind of map out as these, you dodge the cones of vision of the police. It is a little unforgiving in just some way. It's like, why the fuck? How'd you see me through that? Or it's a little bit much, but it's simple. And it was like $4, so I'm not hating myself because of it. But it's all right. It's all right. It's nothing horrible. But I was like, I'll give it a go, and then I sort of bounced out of it. But yeah, In Sound Mind is the one thing that I've been playing this week. I did pick up some more songs for Rock Band because I've fallen back into that hole. And Red Dead has been re-put into the PlayStation as I'm trying to get through all the backlogs. I should probably play some more Last of Us, but I just once again finding that groove. And In Sound Mind right now, that drive to get it done for the backlog is what's bringing me forward. But speaking of bringing forward, let's get into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, Max, we're opening up this week with news that we talked about last week, and I as I've probably named the episode, I think what I'd call it on Twitch, while I was talking about Call of Duty, I'm in the same boat because apparently we're still talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah, so as we mentioned last week, that there was a deal that Microsoft and Sony penned for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation consoles for, quote, several more years after the current agreement with Sony ends. So it was at the time assumed that PlayStation had signed that deal. But Jim Ryan has kind of made some comments describing the offer as inadequate. In a statement sent to GamesIndustry.biz, the executive explained that, quote, he hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but feels the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. He said, quote, Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. In a follow-up statement earlier this week, Phil Spencer reiterated, quote, we've heard that this deal might take franchises like Call of Duty away from the places where people currently play them. That's why, as we've said before, we are committed to making the same version of Call of Duty available on PlayStation on the same day the game launches elsewhere. We will continue to enable people to play with each other across platforms and across devices. We know players benefit from this approach because we've done it with Minecraft, which continues to be available on multiple platforms and has expanded to even more since Mojang joined Microsoft in 2014.
So it's interesting. Last week we were discussing when they said several years. How many several years? It's not a couple. A couple is 2 years.
It's more than two.
It's more than two. It's 3. It's just. It's just more than a couple years. Not quite a few. Several. Look, I know this is a PlayStation show, and I'm not just gonna. I don't want to just sit here and poo on Xbox because that's not what we do here. I'm gonna poo on PlayStation 2. Don't get me wrong, and I'll get to them in a minute. If anything, this demonstrates exactly what we were talking about last week and probably the week before, is that both companies are fucking liars. Has Phil Spencer said previously, look, they're like, look, we're not taking it away. We're not going to make it exclusive until 2020. There's a fucking giant bug in here. And they're like, well, then doesn't this literally contradict that? Games are for everyone. Then continues to make a series of actions that are all about restricting access to it, right? Even though previously something that was brought up I heard get brought up this week, which I hadn't considered. Any communications around future Bethesda games previously, Phil Spencer was like, "Ooh, we can't talk about that until the deal's being closed." This deal hasn't closed. How come you can suddenly be so vocal about this one, Phil? Then in that same bracket,
They kind of have to. They need to convince all the different countries that
but
buying Activision Blizzard is not a bad thing.
But
$68 bajillion dollars.
With this in mind, if the conversation is previously have been like, look, we are not taking off other platforms, and that was the understanding of the deal, or at least the vocalization of how they were going to process the deal. Now, behind closed doors, they may have constantly talked about how they're going to restrict it, but then how come none of their legal team went out and said, hey, you're saying exactly the opposite of what we've agreed, right? So like either he's lying about the future plans, or he's lying about the current plans. There is no someone in this process at Microsoft, someone is lying about something. Is it going to be exclusive? Is it not? Is it going to make everywhere? Is it not? Are they allowed to talk about things, or are they not? We've heard literally every possible avenue at which this answer could be. Now, with that in mind, PlayStation are being petty fucking bitches about this. Like, they're like, oh, because Phil Spencer brought it into the public. No, you did it in Brazil, which technically they were allowed to do so, but that was airing dirty laundry, which then incited this, which then incited that, which then incited this. No one is innocent here. Everyone's fucking liar. It's kind of gross. But as Shay in the chat says, well, it's all about intent, nothing promised. But my understanding is that very similar to how Square Enix, like, you know, an example, like that, there's things that they can't do things to alter the stock price or the value of the company from acknowledgement that they were going to purchase it until closure of purchase. So they should shut their faces. That's my understanding of what that kind of transaction should be. Look. Their intent, what do you mean? Like, yeah, look, it's all intent because nothing's on paper right now. I agree with that. I understand. But apparently there was an agreement in fucking January. Either a handshake or a penned paper, a penned letter, a literal letter that says this is what our plans are. And then if that letter was provided in January of this year stating that they were like, because every discussion since then, PlayStation have come out and gone, this is like right now, they've gone, they are taking it off PlayStation. And then Xbox, Microsoft have gone, no, we're not. But PlayStation never pulled out that letter. They could have at any time, but they didn't. But then they did. Or someone did. I think it was brought up. PlayStation have now responded saying, hey, you said, you've brought up that letter. Well, here it is saying what it is. Now, look, I'm addressing it like the individual people. They're not. They're corporations. They're conglomerates of people. They're personality-less globs of fucking capitalism. And everyone's in it for themselves, and everyone's in it for the money that can be made. Like, PlayStation are sitting here, as we said, talking about like the how important exclusivity, how having everything and everything is. It continues to demonstrate exclusivity. Even so much so, something that was announced this week is a timed console exclusive. Everyone's full of shit, Max. Fuck everyone.
Yeah. They'll get there eventually. Eventually, something will happen. They'll just, I mean, to a degree, like, when a game drops I think we spoke about this last week. It's going to be essentially exclusive anyway, considering the fact that you can get it for essentially free over here as part of the service you're already paying for. Or you can spend $125 for it over on the other guys.
Yep. So, like, yeah,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
Exactly, and I think that's part of it as well. And I think Sony are aware of that. And if that deal, like, now once again, if this deal, if the extra 3 years, is that an extra 3 years of like marketing or like just working alongside each other or even promoting that it's on PlayStation, or is this just we are hard cutting it? Like, it's so bizarre. It's so insane of this circumstance. Now, MGB in the chat jumps in and goes, Like, once the deal is done, Sony should stop being bitter about Call of Duty and start working on Killzone or Resistance to fight Call of Duty.
I feel that they should, if they're going to do that, I feel that they should be working on Killzone and Resistance now.
They should have already been doing it.
So it's ready in 3 years' time, or 4 years, or however long the deal's got left.
This is the other thing. As much as I love what Sony makes, they fucking dumb. The fact that they were like, oh, we'll just rely on Call of Duty. We don't need a first-person shooter. It's fine. It's covered. We'll just continue to make the same game for the foreseeable future. Over-the-shoulder, third-person action-adventure. Done. Anytime a company has made solely one thing, it hasn't gone well.
Eggs in baskets?
That's right. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now, granted, they're great storytelling. They're great for what they are. But like we look at right now, Sony's focus, like Sony, like they're behind in general. Their sudden focus on games as a service now, years after it's remotely relevant, that's a concern. They're now demonstrating concern about not having a first-person shooter when, as MGB points out, they had access to one. Instead they chose to not foster and support it. Shane in the chat jumps in as well and says, Jim's just doing his job. Do anything to stop or slow down the deal. Correct. Do I still think this deal will go through? Probably. Does that mean that we might have to like not just be a PlayStation show? Probably. We didn't play Call of Duty anyway. It doesn't really matter. But I don't know. It's the precedent. It's precedent that's the concern here. And and like I'm not saying PlayStation are any better. They are also full of shit. Because the precedent of a timed exclusive game, it doesn't matter how long that timed is. Because Final Fantasy VII was a timed exclusive. Hasn't popped up anywhere else yet. We saw with Tomb Raider, Lara Croft Rise of the Tomb Raider, whatever the fuck it was, like the second one. Timed exclusive on Xbox. By the time that year or whatever was up, no one gave a fuck. It might as well be an exclusive. It's that asterisk that means nothing. Same as you said. Oh, it's not exclusive. It's on PlayStation, but it's $1 over here. Might as well be exclusive. Shane, he should be thankful that Xbox is giving them an extra 3 years to get their live service shit together. In theory, yes. Because it's in the cutthroat world of business, they could just fucking cut it out now. And I would not. And like, yeah, business is fucking gross. It really is. But it's the world we live in. Without it, we wouldn't have cool shit. We wouldn't have a show to talk about every week because of all the fucking nonsense. SOCOM. We talked about SOCOM last week. So Shane mentioned, Puck mentions it in the chat. Apparently they got some people from Siege over there. We've heard nothing. It's dead quiet. We have no idea. Now, granted, we have no idea what's happening outside of fucking Insomniac and Spider-Man and Wolverine. No idea what anyone else is doing. Except for factions. Like, really? All your key players? Quiet. Once Ragnarok drops, then Spider-Man, you got fucking nothing. You have no idea. You sure hope they better have SOCOM. You sure better hope they have something backed up. I'm really ranty again this week. I'm kind of ranty every week. I don't think it's a week-by-week thing anymore. Firmwares. As previously discussed last week, the latest firmware is now out of beta and available for all users. It does provide 1440p support along with game folders, which I know you fucked around with this week, Max. Improvements to the game base and game help, and better access to in-progress activities and the ability to compare 3D and regular stereo audio.
Yeah, so the game folders only work inside of your game library. And when you start a folder, it opens up every single game you fucking have purchased. Now, granted, you can put multiple games into multiple folders, which is cool. Currently, mine has one folder, and I think it was called like Trash Fire or something. It's got Babylon Rise. But because I can't put them on my home screen, they seem kind of useless to me. In my opinion.
Well, the one thing that made the old folders great on the cross-media bar of the PS4 was that you could lump all your shit together. So you could have a folder that was the games that you're married to, your daily games. You put your Rocket League, you put your Destiny in there, whatever, and then you'd have a VR folder. So I'd put all my VR games in there. So if I want to play VR, I'd go,
Exactly what I did.
Yep, but
I do that.
Yeah, I don't. You don't go to your game library unless you're looking to something to download.
But see, that's when the game folder comes in handy because you can curate what you already own. So when you want to re-download something, you can find it really easily.
It's called the alphabet, Max.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
you know what you want. Like, it starts with D, so you go to D. This game, unless you want to sort it by genre, you're like, I feel like playing, unless you're like, I feel like playing a shooter, and I don't have one currently installed because the hard drive space your PS5 is fucked.
Because Call of Duty is now Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah, I can't play Call of Duty anymore. Might as well play something else. So if you separate them by genre, I can see how that would be advantageous if you're someone that installs and uninstalls games a lot. And 1440p, that's cool. Like, for those that use monitors, that's brilliant. Because 1440 is really good. It gets kind of all the benefits of 4K, but without the sort of intense hardware requirements. Cool. And I understand it's like, Xbox had this at launch. Yeah, it did. Okay. We have it now. Woo.
It should have been here at launch.
It should have been.
It really should have been.
But it's one of those, apparently the answering was like, hey, we wanted to, but, trying to release a console in COVID and shit. I'm like, yeah, but Xbox did. Cool. I know, it's a tough one. It's super fucking weird. But yeah, for those that do monitors, it's cool. It's great, I guess. But yeah.
And the last bit of Sony news was only a matter of time. There is a new design for the system swappable covers, and it is camo because it's always camo. It's a dark grey camo that will be on the removable faceplate of the PlayStation 5. There will be a DualSense camo, and for the Pulse 3D headset, so you can not be seen using this gear, I guess. Pre-orders are open as of this month through PlayStation Direct to be released in October, but I don't think they're available in Australia yet. They're apparently missing or hiding. They're MIA.
Yeah, we can't see them. That's the point.
They don't look that great.
It looks horrendous. Camo shit always has looked horrendous. It's one of those things. Who the fuck is buying camo themed shit? Like, it's not 2011 anymore. Like, granted, I'm sure there's someone in middle America that's really stoked because everything they own is in camo. But, like, it's a little too gross gamer, right? It's cliche.
Yeah.
And, like, I can only presume that, as we've grown older, a bunch of new 13-year-olds that suddenly get real hard-ons for military culture, like, want camo shit. I get that. But it's still gross. There must be a demand. There has to be. But I couldn't tell you who. Once again, closed circle, myself, my friends. Like, I don't have a problem with the customization. Like, I made mine purple within fucking 4 hours of having my console. And now they have purple ones, which I need to buy because they're better than the ones I painted. Because it's just different. But I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't get it. I can't get it.
I also don't get it.
Yeah. In the chat, they're discussing their demand clear. They want the clear hardware like the old Apple Macs, the old X64s. Yeah, but I guess the design of the PS5 is really boring when you take off the panels. You don't see any of the innards. It's just a fucking blank part. It's just black. Like, if you could see the innards, yeah, I could understand the appeal of that. But when it just looks really boring, all right. Let us customize our own. Why doesn't PlayStation, I'm going to say Australia, why doesn't a PlayStation have that, what's it called? The Xbox one, we can design your own,
Design Labs.
Why don't we have one? It's $84 whatever for the side panels. Make them 95. Make them 100 clean. And you can design them as you want.
because depending on what their design tools are like, they're gonna get hit by copyright infringement notices constantly.
But if it's just color, you can make the exact colors that you want.
Yeah.
That like that.
I want to be able to upload my own image, so I can go hard.
Yeah. What would you put on if you were to make like granted you have a custom PS5?
Granted, I do have a custom.
Like you and I have both fucked with ours, but if you had a design lab, what would you do? What would you make happen?
Honestly, part of me is like nothing, because the way my setup is at the moment. So I've got three 30-inch 4K screens. And my PlayStation 5's hidden behind them. I don't even see it. Like it's not visible. So it could be naked back there for all I know.
Ooh. Hot.
It's one of those things that it's not necessary for me. Like I'm not that kind of person to do it, because I tend to not leave my stuff out on display like yourself. It's not. I mean, you've literally got old PlayStation sitting behind you.
That's what I'm saying. You having a fucking go? Like,
no, I'm not having a go. I'm just saying that it would be great for you, but for me, it's just like, I'll just take the cheaper controller that's either white, black, blue, or camo. Well, fuck camo, but like, I'm obviously not buying that. But you know.
But like, that's what concerns me. Is like, yeah, they've done grey camo. I'm not. It's very possible that we'll get red camo. And then
I don't know,
camo.
but they've done all those in the past. They've done that nasty ass green camo, blue camo, red camo crap.
That's true. DJ1138X, they still make you send in your equipment for that controller, etc. I bought the design labs. I didn't realize you had to send it in. I just thought they printed you in the casing.
No, my understanding is they make the controller and send it to you as.
That's what I thought. Like, hence why you're playing like a premium. Like, say a controller's like $100, you're playing like $150, $160 because they make one custom for you. Shane goes, "Come on, Ryan, that's too fun for Sony." That is true. That is too fun for Sony. That's too much like enjoyment for them. But for me, like, I would want something simple, because I'm a sucker for the symbols, right? If you were just to get me like a tessellating pattern of the symbols, or just a big sticker up the side of just the symbols, and it was like I would still probably make it a nice purple. I'd put the like a white with a silver trim or something, or a black trim, just make it really pop out in the middle. I'm not asking for a whole lot. I don't want pink, purple polka dots or anything like that. I don't want to put a big giant pangus on the side. Like, I'm a simple man, really. But Puck wants Lightning McQueen. Like, what, the big number 1 on the side, like it's Daytona. Like, with that, actually, that's a good idea. Get a Daytona skin and the camo. You've hit Middle and South America and lower, and the southern parts of America. You're hitting all the boxes. Very nice. All right, one thing that did also happen this week, Bax, well, this weekend actually, D23 is this big event for Disney shit. They announced movies and this, but this year was the first time they really did a big games focus as well. And they made an interesting decision by showing an untitled game. Didn't have a name, just a game. It was made by Amy Hennig, new sort of endeavor, which is Skydance, new media. This game is it was set within the Marvel universe, as it would be, hence the Disney Marvel showcase. It's about Captain America and old Black Panther in World War II. Bold strategy, Cotton. So while the game is currently untitled, as we discussed, it promises to feature 4 playable heroes, because they looked over and went, Gotham Knights looks fun, let's do exactly that. Quote, a young Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, Azuri, T'Challa's grandfather, woo, and the the World War II era Black Panther, Gabrielle Jones, a US soldier and member of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali, the leader of the fledgling Wakandan spy network. Max, did this tickle your fancy?
No, not at all.
No,
Not at all.
Well, yeah, it looks like, it's multiplayer co-op. Okay, it's Gotham Knights, but Marvel,
well, it doesn't even say that it's multiplayer. It just says that there's 4 heroes that are playable. So
it's a live service.
Is it just like a level by level where you play this level as Captain America, and then the next level you play as Azuri, and then the next level you play as this person, and the next level you play as that person?
No, there's no money. There's no money in that, Max. You can buy 4. You can buy. There's 4
It is-
copies of this game.
No, but you can sell skins for
Oh, they're totally
old mate
going
Captain
to.
America.
Next up, Marvel's Midnight Suns, after being indefinitely delayed last month, turns out the indefinite is in fact definite, as Midnight Suns now has a new release date of December 2nd. This, as previously discussed, it is only coming to current gen, so PS4 and your Xbox One, as well as PC. So no Switch has release been given.
He means the Xbox Series is in the PlayStation 5, not...
The fuck did I say?
Xbox One and PS4.
Look, I'm tired and I had a stroke, all right? It's all good. And also big thank you to the Malay Show for resubscribing for his 54th month in a row.
Yeah, no Switch release, which is interesting, obviously.
Well, it's not a very demanding... It's clearly not a demanding... I should say, it's clearly a demanding game, because if it's not coming to current gens, and it's not coming to Switch, it tells you pretty quickly. Now, it's weird because it's really just kind of like XCOM, but with Marvel and card-based, isn't it?
Very double noise.
So that's kind of fun. Like, I'm a little keen for this game, actually.
I'm super keen.
So I'm glad it has a date. I'm glad it's coming out this year, because I'm pretty sure it's on my draft. And after being assaulted by Hogwarts Legacy, and who knows what God of War's doing this year, I need all the points I can get.
Sony tweeted out that it's arriving in 60 days, so they must be pretty confident.
Hey. Square Enix had a reveal event for the date of Final Fantasy 13, which they then delayed. Don't tell me shit. That means nothing. But I'm very excited for this game. Looks good. Tron Identity. Coming from Bithell Games, so Mark Bithell. Tron Identity is a visual novel adventure coming to PC and consoles in 2023. I don't give a flying fuck about Tron.
Agreed.
Yeah. I didn't see Tron Legacy. The first movie was super old anyway. Pardon me. Avatar Frontiers. Quick gameplay overview was shown. Is this Avatar: The Last Airbender or Avatar
the blue people that
Pocahontas?
Fuck animals with their hair?
Yeah, like the fucking animal tail fuckers. Yeah, them ones.
I actually don't think that's how it worked, but
no, it's exactly how it works.
I'm pretty sure Shane schooled us on this last time we brought it up.
He did, and I refuse to acknowledge it. When they had when they had blue people coitus, they made their tails kiss. Then they climbed onto the giant space cows. Their tails kissed the space cow. Was a space cow? It was a bird. No. Yeah, the one from the guy. The one. Yeah, James Cameron. There you go. I see you, Jake Sully. Aliens Dark Descent. First gameplay was shown here due to release 2023. Cool. More Aliens games. Funsies. Gargoyles.
Yeah, so that was shown off at. That was announced at opening night live for Games Fest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Earlier this year, so we actually saw gameplay. Yeah, it's one of those top-down alien shooters. It was fun.
Gargoyles Remastered. Holy shit. First released in 1995 on the Sega Genesis. It is currently being remastered for modern consoles. Fuck yeah, Gargoyles. What a show.
I owned this game.
What a show. That is exciting news. That is good news. It's very, very cool. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga will be getting new Galactic Edition on November 1st. That'll bring with it 13 character packs, including 6 new packs that contain such fan favorites as Cassian Andor, Reva, Captain Rex. Oh. What? And more. Yeah, so it's the same game, but with extra DLC. I'm sure you can buy the DLC separately if you really gave a shit about fucking Reva. Reva McEntire.
Yeah. So from one showcase to the next, we'll head straight on into we'll take a leap.
Before we jump into that, though, we'll jump into the chat because there were some comments around the showcase.
Is it just Shane calling us dickheads?
Yeah, very very true. So Shane does say though, I've got quite a bit of Marvel fatigue, but I'm pretty excited for this purely to see Hennig ship another game. Look, Hennig needs to shit to get off the pot, and I hope they release a game real soon. But how are you feeling about this sort of Marvel fatigue? Because I have it fucking hard.
after Thor: Love and Blunder, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, and because this week at D23 they announced all the upcoming Marvel movies, or whatever, and I'm I don't give the hardest shits about any of this.
Yeah, a couple of them I'm pretty keen on. Secret Invasion should be good. Secret Wars, sorry, should be good. But lately they've been just so average. I'm trying. She-Hulk's just this week by week fucking cameo fest, and I think they've realized that they've gone nowhere with Phase 4, which is why they're like, Phase 4's ending this year real quick, and we're just like fucking redoing it because there's just been nothing.
Yeah, like
there's the overarching thread that we should have is just not there yet. We haven't found it. We're just gonna pretend this never happened. We're gonna snap our fingers. Phase 4 is gonna fuck off, and we're gonna bring Phase 5 in. And we're gonna start setting shit up the way we should have during Phase 5.
Like, I understand it's a new arc, right? And we are in the setup of the new arc. I get it. But you're fucking it up.
But they haven't set anything up.
That's my point. They're not setting anything up.
They're all doing solo movies, and then their end game credits is like, hey, more solo shit.
More solo. Hey, this cameo, this person you've never heard of before. But like even the original, like Phase 1, each movie was setting up to a bigger picture. Not setting up to the next movie, setting up the bigger picture.
And I get Eternal sucked, but no one has mentioned that there's a fucking gigantic Earth-sized dude hanging half out of the fucking ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
Just no one gives a shit about that.
No. Nothing. But look, She-Hulk, she's angrier than the Hulk could ever be, all right? As long as you know that. But I'm disappointed that the Marvel fatigue is spilling into games. Because the problem is, it's too late. Like if these games were if there was this many Marvel games back when the MCU started, hell yeah. They've been right at that moment, right at that peak. But now it's just too late. It's just too late. MGB goes, I wish we got a Simpsons Hit and Run remake. That'd be nice. Or even a remaster. Even a re-release on PS Plus. Yeah, ain't happening. That'd be cool though. Also, I would love us to see Split Second and more on Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4 is probably years away at this point. But actually, that's what I go. Like the potential for Kingdom Hearts 4 is pretty huge. Seems everything's under Disney right now. But yeah, I don't. It's too weeby for me. I can't do it. I love seeing Disney go back into their back catalog. Yeah, that's pretty true. Shane jumps in and goes, "Yeah, Phase 4 has been a wet fart." Yeah, it's tough. Crimson says, "Betson, that's me. How you doing?" Let's see. There's a lot of stuff about all the MCU and stuff, but let's keep moving forward. Now I want to talk about the Ubisofts. Let's get exciting because Ubisoft. You fucking thought we've had enough talking about every Assassin's Creed game ever coming to Game Pass, coming to PS Plus. There's more.
Yeah, so it turns out everyone gets an Assassin's Creed. So as the rumors and the leaks came out, Mirage is happening. It is following Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Basim, who is one of your early teachers in the game from memory. It's been a while since I played my backlog game of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Very true.
But Ubisoft were apparently very adamant that Assassin's Creed Mirage will take the series back to its roots, not only in the sense that it takes the franchise back to the Middle East, but also the fact that it takes its gameplay back to the stealth, parkour, and assassinations from the earlier games. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Infinity.
Wait, is this more fucking Assassin's Creed?
I'll just smash out all the Assassin's Creed stuff, and then we'll go back. Okay. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Infinity, which will act as a hub for all future Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed codenamed Hex and Assassin's Creed codenamed Red. It was said that Assassin's Creed Infinity will be the single entry point for all things Assassin's Creed, with players able to explore an animus to choose which experience they wish to have. Moving on to codename Red, it was revealed that the next flagship Assassin's Creed game after Assassin's Creed Mirage is a game currently called Assassin's Creed codenamed Red, and it will take the franchise to feudal Japan. The game is being developed by Ubisoft Quebec, who did Assassin's Creed Odyssey under the creative direction of Jonathan Dumont. The game will be a part of the upcoming Assassin's Creed hub, known as Assassin's Creed Infinity. The other one, codenamed Hex, had like a 30-second preview trailer. You're in this dark, decrepit, dank-ass forest, and there's just like an effigy of the Assassin's Creed symbols made out of fucking twigs and twine. It kind of looked mad. It looks like it will be after whatever codename Red turns out to be. Ubisoft Montreal will be working on it. The guys who did Valhalla. with Clint Hocking from Far Cry 2 and Watch Dogs Legion serving as the creative director. It was said that the game is a very different type of Assassin's Creed game, and whilst nothing else was said about the game, the reveal trailer gave off witchcraft vibes. And it certainly did. Like I said, that had that weird fucking effigy hanging from the tree that looked like the assassin symbol.
Remember there was that one time where Ubisoft...
they took a year off and...
Yeah, Ubisoft came out and went, look, we know we fucked up. We're gonna be more focused. We're gonna give Assassin's Creed room to breathe. And then something happened, and they went, fuck that noise. We're gonna bombard you. Like, we're not gonna tell you just that there's one coming, that there's 3 coming. And I had Assassin's Creed fatigue before this, and I have it more now. Like, knowing that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play this one because I know there's 2 more coming. And like, to their credit, like, if, with obviously the next one being the Mirage and then Infinity, and if Infinity is like a hub, it's games as a service, which is what they've been building to anyway. But if the idea is that they're going to be releasing more sort of shorter experiences, then that's probably better. Because looking over at Valhalla, as you said, like,
I don't think they're necessarily going to be shorter experiences.
Gross.
I think Assassin's Creed Infinity will essentially work as a fucking Ubisoft launcher for Assassin's Creed games. I don't think that necessarily means that their stuff's going to be shorter or smaller in scope. I think it's just they're going to try and keep them all in one tidy little place.
But I mean that in terms of rather than trying to have everyone play this one game all the time, they're like, we'll have this where you can play all these things multiple times. So they don't need to put as much filler in it as they did with Valhalla as an example, because they're like, oh, we're not going to release one for another 2 years. Let's just cram shit into it. Let's make it never ending.
So as MGB put in the chat, there's even a mobile game coming to Netflix. I should point out that these are just the ones coming to consoles. There's Assassin's Creed Jade, which is set in China, which is a fucking mobile game. There's Assassin's Creed Freedom something, which is another mobile game. There was like 7 Assassin's Creed games announced. Some were on mobile, but these were the ones that were coming to console.
This hurts me internally. Like, admittedly, I have not really given a shit about Assassin's Creed for a long time. But even the ones that I've played, I wasn't like, oh, this story is so compelling. The Brotherhood is so fascinating that I want more.
I liked 1 and 2. And then I kind of ducked out of it for a while. Like, I still played 3 and Black Flag and Unity, and like I've played them all. But the earlier ones, I got fatigue after 2. Like, I played all of Ezio's stories, and then I got fatigue from it. And when they did that kind of soft reboot with Origins, it kind of got me back in. Like, I enjoyed that open world RPG-ness that it had going for it. And then I realized that it just slowed you down because it forced you into doing its bullshit side quests to stay ahead of the main scenario for level wise. Otherwise you just get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, they just started gating off stuff and throwing microtransactions, which is once again, that's what they're building towards, hence this live service, right? And it's understandable that they would get to this. But it's interesting because they're essentially doing Far Cry, and that the only thing that makes each of these games different or appealing is their setting. But the second you get in there and you pull apart that setting, it's kind of the same game. Now, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Far Cry. I really enjoyed 5, really enjoyed 6. But like, it's one of those things, it's all about the different setting. And if the frequency that they're pumping these games out, what settings is left? Like, oh, they haven't made a fucking Assassin's Creed Australia. Just go hang out in the outback for a while. Like...
Can you imagine you just running through the bush and the fucking drop bear comes out?
Yeah.
Wrecks your day.
Yeah, like, rather than getting decked by, like, minotaurs and shit, it's just kangaroos come and kick the fuck out of you. Like, you're trying to ride your horse down the street, you hit a wombat, blows the front end out of your horse out. It's crazy. DJ1138X says wanted to play Valhalla but not at full price. It's on sale this weekend on PS Plus. On PlayStation Store, by the way. It's like $30, something crazy. Straight Assassin's Creed Bogans. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd be down with that. I'd love to see a Ubi game in Australia. I'd love to see Far Cry in Australia.
To get back to the anime, you just go into a fucking Telstra payphone box.
Yeah, look, Far Cry Australia would be fun. Probably the one that would be the most fun. Everything else would be hot trash.
Who's the villain of Far Cry Australia? Is it ScoMo?
No, it's what's her name? Gina Reinhardt. No, it's Clive Palmer.
Oh. That's that redheaded clown. That's not Ronald
Pauline Hare.
McDonald.
No, that's one of the. Yeah, it's just the United Australia Party. And Bob Catter is 100% a mini boss in Assassin's Creed. Straight. Royal Rooster. See, not a fan of Assassin's Creed. It's because you haven't heard about Assassin's Creed, right? All right, let's move along.
Well, I'll move along to the game that Ryan was excited for coming out of Ubisoft Forward. Just Dance 23.
Yes!
It has been revealed that Just Dance 2023 will only be coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles and Nintendo Switch. So no previous gen consoles. Cool. And it will be a live platform from now on with mobile multiplayer too.
That's fascinating. Like, shout out to Just Dance, by the way. Not for me, but like for the longest time, it was supporting like generations that were fucked. It's like I'm surprised that
it's released on Wii.
Yeah. And it's like still, like 2 years ago, they're like, we brought one to Wii. Like, who the fuck?
They're like, we made 20,000 discs of it and no one bought anything.
Yeah.
It just cost us too much, right? Next up was Division Heartland, the free-to-play survival shooter. Is set in Silver Creek, which is a small town in the middle of America. You can register now for closed testing.
I'll be right
back. Skull and Bones showed off more gameplay trailer and some of its funky ship customization. The cool one for me was Trackmania, after being PC exclusive for like a bajillion years, is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles.
No, there was Trackmania Turbo came out on Xbox
with
maybe a couple years ago.
Cross-play and cross-progression. No, the real Trackmania.
Oh.
Like, the OG.
My apologies.
Riders Republic is teaming up with Vans, and the 4th season will bring BMX riding on September 14th, because...
All right. Shout out. Look, I can shit on Ubisoft all the time for their just incredible being gross as a company. But like they support games. Like I guarantee you For Honor's in this list somewhere.
Talking about supporting games, The Crew 2 Season 6 Episode 2 is called Dominion Frozen and will bring ice tracks to the game on September 14th. There is fuck all for Honor.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you know, For Honor, they still support for some reason. Just Dance, they still support on like old ass catalog, right? But what was called BMX Bandits. What the fuck was it called? Riders Republic. Like, it didn't do all that well. It was fine. Like, it was essentially a better version of Steep. But if they're still pumping out stuff for it, that's cool, I guess. But then everything's a live service. And Siege still gets supported.
That's because it has a competitive...
Yeah, it's got a competitive space, which plays a big part of it.
The quick biddies are all yours.
Oh, did you? So I guess overall,
it was fine. Assassin's Creed, I'm kind of intrigued. As much as I shit on it, I do kind of like the Assassin's Creed games. Again, big fan of Trackmania coming to consoles. Just Dance can go suck a big one, I guess.
Now
Skull and Bones may be the top seller of the week at releases.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got a hunch that that's the big one for the early November space, but we'll see.
And there was a number of indie games that were discussed as well, and one of them is in the chat. Shane yelled very hard, "Valiant Hearts!"
I didn't see that.
Yeah, because there was an email that came through about apparently there's a bunch of indie games coming to Ubisoft Plus as well, which means they'll come to PS Plus at some point.
Yep.
You know, there are some really cool stuff that came out of Ubisoft Arts. Was it Ubisoft Arts? Was it? Whatever their fucking independent thing was. I think like Child of Light. Did Child of Light come out of that? Or did that come out of EA? I don't remember. But yeah, Rayman Legends is doing something.
There was a bunch for Rabbids, but that's Nintendo.
Yeah, it's Nintendo. Which bums me out. I really enjoyed Mario vs. Rabbids. That was fucking tight. Valiant Hearts made me cry. That's why I haven't played it, because I know I'm gonna like ball.
There you go, MGB. Valiant Hearts is getting a sequel, but it's a mobile game on Netflix.
There you go. So to add to that, Siege, 100 operators are currently planned for Siege, and they're at 64, so it's still good for about 8 more years. That's mad. That's crazy. Damn. No word on X Defiant. Remember X Defiant?
No.
Good.
No news on Extraction either.
Yeah, no, Extraction's been abandoned. No word on Prince of Persia. Still no word on Beyond Good and Evil 2. What a time. What a time to be alive. All right, quick bits. This is always just a little touch-up news that we've is not worth a deep dive, but we'll probably deep dive in it anyway because fuck it. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is hitting the PC on the 19th of October. If pre-ordered through the Epic's Game Store, you will get a themed glider for Fortnite. Woo!
Yeah, I think you get Sully's plane.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Get that they get that submarine that they found in Uncharted 1. Crystal Dynamics now owns Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain, and several other IPs after splitting from Square Enix and being embraced by the group. Yeah, we discussed that a couple of weeks ago, but the dealio went through about a week or so ago, and it's like 100% in the happening now. PSVR 2 titles can now be wishlisted on the PS Store. Couple popped up.
I should preface that it's only Firewall Ultra and Call of the Mountain.
Yeah, so the Horizon Call of the Mountain. Which yeah, I talked about it last week. I was like, Firewall Ultra. I was like, Firewall is probably getting a sequel. Like, it's coming to PSVR 2. Bam!
I actually think it was MGB who called that it was getting one.
Well, one of us called it. I thought it was me. Could have been him. I don't remember. You know what? Let's both take the rub for it. Let's lift each other up. CD Projekt Red says Witcher 3's PS5 version is still on track to release this year, and apparently they got their DLC for Cyberpunk coming out. Are you going to take it?
No.
No, me either. No. Cool.
I'll replay The Witcher, but I don't give a fuck about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's dead to me as he sits on his Cyberpunk same chair.
Yeah, it's dead. It's long dead. That's right. Crimson Kings lift each other up. That's right. So what happened is MGB and myself, we bounced off each other well enough, and we kind of incepted this idea, and we both were like, it's got to be a sequel. We didn't know who said it first, but we both shook hands like they what's that fucking movie where they go, ugh! That's what we did with our thoughts about the sequel for Firewall Ultra. And more God of War Ragnarok gameplay is coming from Game Informer, which I am hard avoiding because I
won't say what it is then.
Whoa! Yeah, apparently there's like some dope finishes and shit. Original Predator, thank you, Park. Yeah, I'm staying complete quiet when it comes to God of War.
I'm not saying anything. Fuck. You're the one who spoils shit on this show, not me.
Yeah.
Upcoming titles, 13th of September, Little Orpheus coming to PS5. Isonzo, PS5. Voice of Cards, The Beasts of Burden, PS4. Windstorm, Start of a Great Friendship, PS4. 14th of September, we'll see Cube, the 10th anniversary, PS5. Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy, PS4. 15th of September, we have Arcade Archives Rompers, PS4. Blind Fate, Edo no Yami, PS5. Despot's Game, PS5, PS4. Fire Commander, PS5, PS4. Inertial Drift, Twilight Rivals Edition, PS5. Metal Hellsinger, PS5. Outer Wilds, PS5. SBK 22, PS5, PS4. And on the 16th of September, we have Plunder Panic, PS5, and Trash Soldiers on PS4.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice. Metal Hellsinger's probably the only one that keeps me excited there.
Yeah, Metal Hellsinger.
Yeah. So Crimson jumps in the chat and goes,
fine. I mean, Outer Wilds is pretty rad.
Outer Wilds, yeah, but it's already on PS4, but coming to PS5 now is pretty sweet too. I'll be the Cyberpunk correspondent. In Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, which is the DLC, you become a spy, and Keanu Reeves reprises their role as Johnny Silverhand, and the release date is expected next year. There you go. But before we do end the show, I got to give a shout out to...
I also, just really quickly, I kind of agree with Buddy that the pick of the week is on Xbox. You suck at parking. That game kind of looks rad.
Hard called out. But speaking of Buddy Watson, though. So, Buddy, he sent me a lovely care package this week. So they had received these cool God of War Ragnarok things from their work.
So the care package he sent you was way better than the care package you sent me. Which was a fucking delay notice on my headphones.
Yeah, that. So, Buddy understands how much I love God of War and what Ragnarok and what God of War 2018 means to me. Like, Ragnarok, I don't know whether it means a lot to me yet, but the idea of it, right? So, as part of their job, they got sent these PlayStation-related goodies. And they sent me a photo of it, and I was like, dude, how much money do I have to give you to have them? And he goes, you can just have them. And I wanted to cry because it was amazing. So, essentially, what was sent to me was this lovely book, this like faux leather-bound book. It's got Kratos' shield on there, and inside it's got some of the iconography. You've got the Blacksmith Brothers logo there. You've got the new sigil for for Ragnarok, the two wolves. Amazing, love it, absolutely love it. Additionally, they sent me a tech deck for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Awesome, by the way. But what is most amazing is this. So for those that they're listening to the audio version, this is Thor's hammer. Meow, 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 meow. So it's a scale replica. It's about as big as my iPhone XS Max.
Why are you telling me?
Yep, shut up.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure you pay attention, Max. All right?
Okay.
But the best thing about it is it's actually a pen. So you take the head of the hammer off, and it becomes a pen, and the pen part's replaceable, and you can write. I'm gonna write in my fucking book, and I'm trying to decide what I should write in this book because like it's obviously it's a great book. I'm trying to like what's so important for me to put into this book.
Not next year's fucking draft.
Not my
list.
draft picks. That's most certainly because that's been wasted paper. But I love this. I think this is amazing, and it's so sweet, and I can't thank Buddy enough. It was such a nice gesture, and what I can't wait, and what I'm looking forward to.
It's just signing his boobs with it at PAX.
Oh, I'm gonna kiss him directly on the mouth. It's gonna happen. And as they said on Twitter during the show, like it's just gonna be he and I hugging for an hour in the Audio Technica podcast booth, just whispering sweet nothings into each other. It's gonna be amazing. But my plan for this is when God of War Ragnarok comes out and my collector's editions arrive, I'm going to get some photos with me holding the big one and my son holding this one. And like just thinking about that makes me happy because of obviously the game being so important about father and son, and the relationship with my son is so important. So Buddy may think they've just sent me a cool pen, which is certainly true. But what this could be and what this will be is something so much more for me, personally, as I get to share something cool with my son. He's only 5. He won't even realize how important that will mean to me. But just to have the big one and the small one side by side on my shelf means the absolute world. And I'm very, very grateful. And the most utter, complete, heartfelt thank you goes to Buddy. That's enough emotions and shit. All right, let's wrap up the show, Max. It's done. Let's get out of here. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'll just roll Rooster. He put in the chat the Turtle Beaches, and no, I'm waiting for the SteelSeries Arctic Nova Pro wireless.
Those big honking bastards.
So would have been fine if I wanted the PlayStation versions, but I wanted the Xbox versions because they work on everything. Because Microsoft and their stupid patented bullshit proprietary wireless tech pieces of garbage. Delayed from July to fucking November. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really mad.
I love how I delivered this such nice, beautiful, warm ending, and you're like, my headphones didn't arrive.
Yeah, I was only supposed to get them for my birthday 2 months ago.
Oh, very good point. Well, I get to experience for my birthday sharing Ragnarok with my son.
The big one and the little one.
So I love MGB's like straight face use of Ghost in the Machine's emote. All right, now send it home, Max. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, everyone. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to hear us rant about random shit or join in on the conversation, you can. Come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCulturists, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/PopCulturists, as well as our merchandise store, PopCulturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players.
I've decided that your running bit of mentioning your TV every week, which you haven't done this week at all. I'm going to bring it up right at the end of the show. But I'm going to start mentioning the fact that I don't have headphones every week until I get them.
It's fair. It's totally fair. But Park does bring up a good point. How shit is Colt Cabana?
I don't know.
Wrestle reference!
Don't know who that is. Cabana in general is pretty good, though.
Cabana's rad.